All right, aloha everyone. Happy Aloha Friday. Welcome back to another episode of Manoa Valley Theater Live. I'm your host, Dylan Chase Lee. And I just want to say thank you to everyone for enjoying this program and staying with us for 14 weeks. This is going to be our 14th episode. I cannot believe we've been, streaming to you folks live for at least 14 weeks now. It seems like at least a month since we started this, but I digress. Without further ado, let's bring in our main man himself, Kip Colborn, to see what's the haps at Manoa Valley Theater. Kip?
Hey, Dylan, how's it going? All right.
Doing
How about yourself?
Good. Awesome.
Good
I'm doing
deal.
awesome.
Good. Yeah, 14 shows. They said it couldn't be done, but 14 shows, right?
Yeah.
Real excited about that. Thank you for hanging in there with us, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Send us comments. Tell us what you like, what you don't like, and let us, tailor the show a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So what's been going on this week, Dylan?
I've been making lots of phone calls, telling the people what's new with our upcoming season, which we'll get to at the end of the show.
Well, actually, I was thinking about talking about it at the beginning.
Oh,
just in, so we got everybody here, so we may as well give it a little whirl. So listen, this has been a tough time for everybody, and every day is a new day as far as the pandemic goes. I mean, look at what just happened in Florida and Texas. It's just out of this world. And the other part of it is that we do have to open. We do have to open the economy. The damage that's being done is terrific, but everybody has to be very careful. You have to wear your mask. You have to socially distance. We have to be smart. Otherwise, we're going to have a big bloom here as well. So, but once again, let me say, we have to open. We really need to. So, please do your part and encourage those in your life to do their part as well. So that brings me to this next topic, which is, your health and safety is what's really important to us at MVT, and we take it very seriously. In fact, Dylan, we've been doing all sorts of things around the office. It's kind of weird sometimes, but yeah. And so, there are lots of things that we can do, and many theaters are doing around the country. And like everybody wear a mask all the time. I'm in there with my gloves on all the time, and we wipe down things repeatedly during the day, and taking temperature when we come in the door. So, and these are the things we're going to do when we open again to help protect you. So we are going to do something that we're very sad about. We are going to cancel the fall. That doesn't mean that all the shows are gone, but it does mean that we're going to move our opening until January. Our main opening of the season, we have another piece that will be in December 11th through the 13th for one weekend. And that's the Christmas Carol radio play, which will be recorded and then rebroadcast on HPR. So here's our new season. So we're going to open with Desperate Measures, which the show that was supposed to open March 19th, which has been sitting there ready to go all this time. And I appreciate the actors, hanging in there, and they've been running lines. They're keeping up on things. So really appreciate that. And then we'll follow it with Be More Chill in March, Cambodian Rock Band in May. And by the way, we hope we're going to have the playwright on MVT Live just in a couple of weeks. And then Lisa Matsumoto's Once Upon One Time in July. At the same time, so that'll be at Kaimuki High School. At the same time, we'll have Tiny Beautiful Things at MVT. So we'll have two shows going concurrently. And so we tried to get as much in as we could. I'm sorry that we lost a couple of shows, but, this is a weird year, and nobody's been through this before, and we're learning a lot, but nonetheless, it is a weird year.
Yes, it definitely is.
Yeah, so thank you for putting that up, Dylan. And but the show must go on, correct?
Yes, it should.
And we've got a great lineup today. Just two fantastic artists. One I've known for quite a while, and she's amazing, multifaceted artist. And I'm lucky I get to interview her today. So let me just introduce her, Dylan, and then we'll bring her out.
All right. Sounds good. Take it away, Kip.
Okay. She's a Tony-nominated performer who portrayed Bloody Mary in the revival of South Pacific on Broadway. She's well known in Hawaii for her performance in theater, concerts, film, TV series, commercials, and voiceover work. Locally, she has been in 2 productions of the Lee Cataluna and Keola Beamer hit musical You Somebody, as well as a co-directing and starring in South Pacific, which were both produced at Diamond Head Theater. She has also performed on stage at MVT during our 50th season as part of our anniversary music and comedy series. And so let's welcome to the stream right now, Loretta Sayre.
Aloha.
Aloha, Loretta. So good to see you.
Thanks, Kip. So good to see you.
Yeah. I'm just going to pout a little bit because we're not going to get to hear you sing today because you are one of my favorite vocalists of all time.
If I had cash, wait, I have some cash. I'm going to just mail it directly to you.
Yeah, just cash in the glass. Yeah.
I haven't sung in a long time, though. Boy.
Well, me too. This has been awful.
Isn't it weird?
It's really, really weird if you're used to being a vocalist on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. Suddenly it's just not. So, right. Yeah. So speaking of that, what have you been doing?
Well, I was supposed to be working in Connecticut right now. In fact, I went there the beginning of COVID when it was just starting to literally kind of blow up across the country. And I went there on March 12th, I think it was. And had to turn around and come back 2 days later because, the news was, well, I was supposed to be doing South Pacific, and it's a long contract at the Goodspeed Theater.
So Goodspeed.
It's wonderful. Mm-hmm. And I was supposed to be there for about 6 months. And had to turn around and come back home. And then we were in shock like everybody else, and have just been trying to keep busy and safe and in the house.
Yeah, you flew back on the day we closed down.
Oh,
we were
really?
in the middle of the final rehearsals right before opening Desperate Measures. And yeah. So yeah, it's been really weird. So you're going to be at Goodspeed. Have you been at Goodspeed before?
Yeah, I was there 2 years ago. I did Thoroughly Modern Millie there.
Oh, very good.
Dennis Jones, who had just finished, had just gotten off of being nominated for a Tony for his work as a choreographer for Holiday Inn on Broadway.
Very nice.
And he was directing and choreographing Thoroughly Modern Millie. So I was there 2 years ago and loved it. We had so much fun. It's just the greatest theater in Connecticut.
It is spectacular. Yeah, I've been there a number of times, and it's just amazing.
Right. It's just terrific. So I'm looking forward to going there again. We postponed, like everybody else. They postponed the show until this coming spring. We don't have an opening date yet, but everything that we were supposed to do this year has all been shoved to next year.
Wow. Well, I think we're all, dealing with that right now. So actually, let me back up. So you're born and raised here or no?
I was born in California.
Okay.
And my stepfather was in the Navy, so we got transferred here, and I went to Pearl Harbor Elementary and through Radford High School. And we really kind of set down roots as soon as we landed here. This is home. So I've been here ever since.
So do you come from a musical or theatrical family?
My older sister, was a performer in Waikiki, and then she went on to perform with a big band that was very, with multi-singers in the front. That was kind of very big in the 70s. But she was the dancer in the family where I always wanted to sing. And we didn't do a lot of performing out of the house per se, because we basically didn't have any money. We couldn't afford to take lessons, or anything like that. We both just loved music. And there were 5 of us kids in the family, and music was always my catharsis. It was what I could get away with and have my little quiet corner of the house and listen to music and sing along. And there was never any doubt whatsoever that that's what I wanted to do for a living.
That's great.
And when you're young, you don't know that it's not always an option.
Right.
But it's what I always wanted to do. And somehow I've been able to eke out a living here in Hawaii doing it. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. Well, you've had a great career. So what was kind of your path? I mean, getting into the professional part of your career.
Let's see. Well, I performed all the way through school and through high school. I performed in theatrical productions, but I always had a love for jazz standards too.
Hmm.
And when I
You
first
certainly do.
when I first got out of school, my high school drama teacher was also a musical director, and he was working during the day teaching, and then he'd perform at night with Keola and Kapono Beamer, and they were looking for somebody to do sales for them and to seat people in the showroom, and they hired me to do it. This is at a time when Andy Bumatai was their opening act, and there used to be two shows on the weekend at 9 o'clock, at 11 o'clock, and Andy, who was their opening act, had a 1 o'clock show in the morning. Right. I mean, Waikiki was totally different at the time.
Yeah.
And one night he said, we keep hearing that our girl out in front, Loretta, can sing, and we're going to have her come up on stage. And I sang a song, and it just so happened that Keola and Kapono stayed after their shows at Andy's show that night. And Keola called me the next day, and he said, why don't you be our featured female vocalist in our next show? And that's kind of where it started. So I've done, showrooms in Waikiki, and I've done small little restaurants and lounges. I worked at the Halekulani for 10 years at Lures Lounge, and then I went on to Kahala for 7 years there. So I've been very lucky as a singer. I've been very lucky to have a modicum of success doing what I really love to do in long-term jobs. As a singer, normally in town, you just get booked
Yeah.
for a month or
Short
something.
gig. Yeah.
So to be able to have done this for a living for years is something I was really fortunate to do.
Well, I think the people who got to hear you and the people who hired you were fortunate.
Oh.
Because I certainly love it. I will always remember when you were doing something at Blue Note, and I remember I was just so thrilled
Oh,
to
for Jimmy
get
Borges, for
right,
his
for the foundation, right, the
right,
scholarship. That's right. So it was such a
right.
thrill that night. So I would be remiss if I didn't ask you to talk to us about your Broadway experience.
Oh, what do you want to know?
So, well, first of all, regardless of Broadway, favorite musical, your
My
favorite
favorite
that you've
musical
ever done.
that I've ever done, it would have to be South Pacific. It
Yeah.
would. You would think I'd be bored with it, and I have people ask me that all the time. But that story, the story that it tells, the content of it, the storylines talking about racism, which we're still dealing with today.
Right. We have to be carefully taught.
Exactly. That's exactly it. And frankly, for a woman who comes from Hawaii, who is short and shapely, there aren't a whole lot of roles, on Broadway looking for somebody specifically like me, and then play this character who is so broad with humor and depth of character. And then I get to sing two of the greatest songs, ever written for
Yeah,
musical theater. So I've
for
never
sure.
heard of it. It's still my favorite.
Well, you certainly own that role. You certainly came on the scene and redefined it and made it yours. And we're just so fortunate, as I said earlier, to have you here in Hawaii. And I know that there'll be many, many years of continuing performances. And what can we do to lure you back to the MVT stage?
Open up.
Okay.
I would
You could have
love
picked
to.
something easy,
I know exactly. I would love to come back and sing there again. I had such a blast last year. We
All
really
right.
did. The guys and I did. So please have us back again. We would love it.
Okay. We'll do it in the spring if you're available. All
Well,
right.
spring I'll be gone. But
Oh, that's right. You'll be back at Goodspeed.
right, exactly.
Okay. We'll find a time.
Okay.
All right.
I'll do it.
Loretta Sayre, wonderful Tony-nominated actress and singer, and thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you, Kit.
All right, Dylan, come back on.
Sorry, can I say one more thing?
You
For
can.
all of you that are listening out there, thanks for supporting Manoa Valley Theater. And if you have $1 or $5 or more to support the theater and the arts here, we could really appreciate it. Let's keep the theater going. Let's keep this community going. We need you and we need the theater. So go to manoavalleytheater.com or call 988-6131. Is that the correct telephone number?
That's
Do I
correct.
have that right?
You got it.
And help us out because we have so much to share with you. So help us and we'll help you.
Thank you, Loretta. Appreciate that.
Thanks.
All right. That was awesome, Kip.
Oh, thanks. I mean, I don't hold a candle to you, but come on.
I think you should take over interviewing. You feel like you're more comfortable, relaxed. I feel like I'm a panicked hedgehog.
Is that a technical term or?
Sure. We'll make it a technical term.
All right. I will go backstage and I'll leave you to take it on from here.
All right. Sounds good. We'll talk to you later, Kip.
All right.
All right. So our next guest has been a familiar face on theaters in Hawaii. She is an actor, singer, dancer, and teacher who has received multiple Po'okela Awards for her work on stage. She has been a leading actress in such plays as Avenue Q, Evita, oh boy, there it is, Lysistrata Jones, 9 to 5, and Sister Act, just to name a few. Please help us welcome to the StreamYard today, Jody Bill. Jody.
Hey Dylan, how's it going?
Going good. It's going good. I am so sorry. My prompter turned off about midway through your intro. I'm so sorry about that.
That's okay. I'm feeling a little bit like a panicked hedgehog myself, so we're in this together.
Yeah. Well, let's make that a thing. Panicked hedgehogs.
I like it.
All right. So, Jody, where are you joining us from today?
I'm joining you all from Arkport, New York, which is my hometown. It's where I grew up. It's about 4.5, 5 hours away from New York City. So it's really not close to New York City, and you think of the city when you hear New York. But at the last census, this town had 844 people.
Oh, wow.
So I grew up here and went to public school, K to 12. So it's been nice. It's been nice to be back with my parents and back in my hometown.
Well, nice. So, you pretty much, I don't know if this might be true, may or may not. Do you know almost everyone within that town? Is it kind of like a small community where everyone kind of knows each other?
Growing up, it definitely was that way. I've been away for more than 10 years now. So I would say I don't know everyone anymore. Quite a few of my friends are still here, and I've been able to touch base with some classmates who are here. But yeah.
Nice. So, what sparked your interest in singing and acting? Was it within your hometown, or did you travel outside and then you discover that you love this thing for performing?
While growing up, I started dance classes when I was 2 years old. And I have a sister, Jessica, who's a year younger than me. My mom tells the story that every single day we would watch The Wizard of Oz and Annie, and we would act out the entire movies. My community decided to put on a production of Annie as a fundraiser when I was 6 years old. And so my mom immediately took us to audition for it. I imagine she was thinking, you need to get out of the house and do this. Okay. So we auditioned, and I was lucky enough to be Molly in the show. And through that experience, I was hooked.
Nice. So from then on, did you do theater in high school? Did you do theater in college as well?
I did theater in high school. we had one musical every year in our high school, and at the time we had a brand new performing arts center. It was incredible, and I had some incredible teachers that were really encouraging, and that became my close-knit friend group. So when I went to college, about an hour away from here, I joined a couple of productions for Old Man Community Theater, and the people were fantastic also. So it tends to be the way that I make my friends.
You definitely had a lot of support, and it's great that you were able to make a bunch of friends as well. You know, doing theater, I mean, it's a very vulnerable thing. So I think theater friends are probably like the best, because, I mean, you can judge them, but at the same time, they'll judge you just as much as, you know, you're judging them, which tends to lead to interesting conversations and awesome stories as well. So
absolutely, you're all there. You're all in the same place and ready to tell stories. So,
like late nights at Denny's, or, you know, wherever you folks are going to eat after a show, full makeup.
Absolutely, we were those kids. I get called out on those memes all the time. We have Friendlies and Perkins up here, and we were always those kids walking in at the last minute and ordering appetizers.
All right. So, Jody, you obviously did some shows in Hawaii, whether you were at Manoa Valley Theater or Diamond Head Theater. What made you make the move to come out to Hawaii?
I moved to Hawaii when I was 23. I was offered a teaching job about a week before school started, and I just took the leap and wanted to try something new. I took a contract for 6 months and ended up staying a little over 10 years. I just fell in love with people and the theater community and wanted to stay.
Nice, nice. So, what was your first show that you did when you first moved down here?
My first show in Hawaii was The Drowsy Chaperone. I moved to Hawaii and took a week to get a car, an apartment, a roommate, and I kind of checked all the boxes, and then I thought, I need friends. I wonder if they have any community theaters here, and started to do some digging, and so their auditions were about 12 days after I moved.
Nice, nice. So, of all the shows that you did in Hawaii, which would you say is your most memorable?
Most memorable, I could probably choose, but to say that I have a favorite would be too hard, because I feel like I have a favorite memory, either with castmates or with the rehearsal process, or a show, or a memory from a show that happened. But to be able to do Evita was a big deal. And having had the opportunity to take a year and really learn everything as well as I felt like I did, and spend the time on that show, that was really meaningful to me too.
Nice, nice. So, Jody, I understand that you have a song for us, and as your intro has stated, you are an awesome singer. Would you be willing to share a song with us today?
Absolutely. I was listening to a radio station at some point during this quarantine, and the song just sort of popped out at me, and I made a note of it that I really wanted to learn this song, and I feel like it represents what a lot of us are feeling during this time, and it was really encouraging. So the song is called The Distance You Have Come.
All right. Take it away, Jody. That was awesome, Jody, and it had such a great message too. And you know, obviously you have traveled from your hometown to Hawaii, and then you've traveled back. So I would say you made leaps and strides in terms of your, your performing career, and you've come a great distance.
Yes, definitely, literally.
All right, Jody. So, sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. Go ahead, Dylan.
No. I was just gonna say, what do you say if we close down the show and bring Kip and Loretta back out?
That'd be wonderful. Love to say hello.
All right. Please help us welcome back to the stream today, Kip and Loretta.
Hello.
Hey guys.
Beautiful Jody.
Beautiful. Beautiful and a great message. And we have come so far. Oh, you guys say hi. We'll just sit back and watch. No, we really have come so far. And remember, today we're one day closer to all of this being over.
Mm-hmm.
So, and remember how important the arts are. It's something I said a long time ago, and it's I've continued to say it is, art is the flower garden of life. And so right now it's a pretty gray, grim time. And so we need the arts. We need those flowers. We need that color. So thank you for your support. Please continue to support. And another thing I forgot to say earlier, tickets will go on sale for the new season next week. So, keep your eye on the website, and we'll send out an email announcing when they go on sale. And I hope you'll come back and support us because we miss you. We definitely miss the MVT Ohana. So, Jody, Loretta, thank you so much, guys. This is such a delight to have you with us.
Thank you for asking. I'm so happy to be a part of it and to see your face.
Thank you, Kip. Thank you, Dylan. Nice to see you.
Yeah. All right, Dylan.
All right. Without further ado, thank you, Jody, and thank you, Loretta, for being on the show today. And come back next week for our 15th episode. We have quite a blast from the past, if you should say, for our 15th episode. So, we'll see you folks next week. Aloha, everyone.
Aloha.